Hey guys, welcome back to the Learning Droid, and today we're actually got an unboxing video. This is from a company called Walnut Hollow, which is an American company. They started out as an arts and crafts company, and they actually started as a sort of little tiny household company that did wood blanks, and they do primarily wood blanks and woodworking bits and pieces. This is a review copy. And what will happen after the unboxing is I'll use it for a couple of projects, I'll get a feel for it, I'll get to know what it's like, and then I'm going to do a review of it, of course, because it's a review copy, that's what you do. I'll do my best not to become biased, but in the spirit of full disclosure, this was free. Free is good, I like free. So, it's a box. It's from Walnut Hollow. So, what can you say? Let's have a look, shall we? It's always fun to see how people pack things. I think you can tell a lot by a company by how people pack things. Those of you that follow my Facebook and other bits and pieces, you will know already that I'm planning to do a review video of this. So, let's have a look, shall we? Well, these are always fun. Airbags. Let's have a look, shall we? So this is the Creative Verse tool, guys. It's still wrapped up, so just to give you a look, there's the Creative Verse tool. It's an American product, and because I'm in the UK, I'll have to use a voltage converter. Don't buy travel sockets, guys. The little £6 travel converters. They're not designed for long-term use, for like over 10 minutes, and they're also not ideal for using with things that require medium wattage. Buy an appropriate piece, buy an appropriate device. So, for instance, for this thing is 45 watts. It's 25 watts. Is it? I've completely forgotten what the wattage is. I did look up the wattage before I did this video, but I've completely forgotten what the wattage is. I'll tell you down below. I'll tell you down there what the wattage is. So basically, I believe it's between 25 and 40 watts, and it requires, of course, American voltage and has an American plug. So I'll be using a voltage converter that's rated up to, I believe, 55 watts. Always look at what they're rated to, guys. Don't expect a 55 watt voltage converter to survive being used for a 2000 watt kettle. It will kill it. So let's have a look what we've got inside the box. We have, of course, our Versa tool. Now, as you may remember, guys, from some of my other videos about basic pyrography, tools can be divided up into different types based upon a couple of things. So this is a solid point machine, which means that we have a collection of solid points, which are over here. We have a selection of solid points. What do we have? We have a patterning bit. We have 3 standard pattern stamps. So we've got a hexagon, a circle and a square pattern stamp. We've got our spear point, our calligraphy tip, our ball tip, which is actually one that we've not had before. We've had a ball point tip, but not a full ball tip. A spear tip or a sharp tip, and a ball point tip, which is made of slightly different metal, which gives a different heating profile, and I'm guessing is designed for more high temperature works because it's made of not made of brass. We also have a spring, which I have no idea what it's for, so I will have to read the instructions, but it's quite a gentle spring, so I'm assuming it's not designed for firing the machine. So we have a solid point machine. The other thing is whether it's a single or variable temperature, and as you can tell from our little device here, we have a variable temperature machine. Now, I don't know how variable the temperature will end up being, but it has almost a full 360 dial. So, does it give us a temperature variation? Nope, it doesn't give us a specific variation, so we'll have to experiment with that. Now, the difficulty with a variable temperature solid point machine is a solid point machine changes temperature a lot slower. A wire tip machine changes temperature very quickly, whereas a solid point machine, the solid point will heat up slowly and will lose its temperature slowly as well. and this section will heat up and lose its temperature slowly as well. So there's an awful lot of mass, an awful lot of stored heat in this tip. So if we turn it down, it will take a little while to cool down, and we'll have to probably encourage that by blowing on it, or by sort of dead burning on a piece of spare wood. And if we turn it up, it will take a little while to reach up to temperature. The advantages with the variable temperature is, of course, you can get the temperature right for patterning. You can use different temperatures for different shades of wood. So what else have we got? We've got standard solid point machine with a screw thread tip. Ooh, that's screwed in tight. I'll have to get a pair of pliers to get that out. That's screwed in very tight. Oh, wow. We have single heat guard and then plastic guard to stop you touching the heat guard. That's a nice little addition. And we've got a rubber handle. So this is more of a craftsman's style handle because it's quite thick. This is more of a craft handle rather than an art handle. It's quite thick, and we've got about 2 inches. In fact, I can tell you how much we have. Exactly 2 inches from the guard stop to the tip, which gives you an idea. Cable wise, we've got a very short cable to the control, which might be a bit awkward if you're working with big projects because you'll have the control moving, but we'll see as we go through the projects how that changes. If I was to do this machine, I'd say personally I'd double that length, because when working with a big project you don't want to be dragging this over the top of the project, but we'll see how it goes when we're working on projects. As for the length of normal cable, by the way, this cable is quite flexible and quite soft, which I like. If you have a very stiff cable, then you can find that the machine gets pulled about by it, and it's not as easy to use. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Oh yes, we have a nice decent length of cable there. So personally, I'd keep this the same length. If I was to make a recommendation, I'd keep this the same length, and I'd slightly lengthen this piece of cable just for the ease of the user if you're doing a larger project. As I said, we have our points, which includes a blade point, which I'm not sure whether you can actually change that blade. So I shall bring these close to the camera so that we can see. We have, oop, there goes one. We have our blade point, our sharp point, a large ball point, calligraphy point, spear point, 3 pattern points, a patterning bit and a spring, and we have our rounded silver bit, or rounded steel bit there. In the machine comes a general purpose universal bit. So let's see if we can find out what the spring does. The broad ball point, this one here, the broad ball, is apparently called a flow point by this company. Very nice, a flow point. So let's see if we can figure out what the spring does. What does the spring do? I believe the spring may be for... No? We have our little wire stand. This is actually a really nice stand. It's a pair of folded wires. So we've got one thick gauge wire folded into a U, which is our base step. And then we have a slightly thinner piece of wire folded into a cup hold. And it's just pressure fitted on there. And I'm assuming these 2 points are left so that you can adjust the pressure with a pair of pliers if it starts to get loose. But let's see. Yep. And it can also be slightly more upright if you want it. That's beautiful. I like that. That's very nice. And the final little doodad that they've given us, I have no idea what the spring is for, guys. I will have to investigate. Oh, it's not a spring, it's lead solder. So that means that this sharp point is a soldering point. Beautiful. So it's actually designed also for soldering. There's a new bit of information. I have no idea how I got that in there, or how they got that in there. Interesting. But they actually come with a coil of lead-free solder. So there we go, we have lead-free solder. Not a spring. Learn something new every day. The case it comes in, guys, is actually really nice. This is quite impressive. So it's a branded case, Walnut Hollow case. On the front face we have a centimetre ruler going to 18 centimetres and an inch ruler going to 7 inches. So we've actually got a measurement block on the front. And on the inside we have a 3-section case, and we've been given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 clear plastic dividers that we can use to divvy up our case. So all in all, guys, this is a really nicely put together kit. There's 2 reasonably heavy duty clasps. Just send things flying, why don't I? There's 2 reasonably heavy duty clasps on the front of the case. Clip into place, but open quite easily. The points come in their own separate little tray that fits quite nicely on the front. The tray will probably disappear over time because it's a very thin plastic tray. It's not designed for long-term storage, it's designed more for display. And then we have the actual tool itself, which personally I think is looking rather nice. The finish on it is really nice. It's stamped 25 watt, it says it on here, 25 watt 120 volt alternating current at 60 Hz. So it's actually got all the technical data stamped on there. It's really well put together, guys. I'm really liking this. So hopefully I will see you again next time when we start using this on a project. Thanks for watching, guys.